Good morning. Oh boy. Time to embrace my destiny. Render tree roots. Today's going to be very boring. I'm warning you. Very, very, very boring. What's up, Kyle? Good Lord. What's up, my man, brother? Detailing tree bark all day. Very exciting. Wow. I hope you love this, because there's a whole lot of it on the way. How do I like Elden Ring? It's probably, other than Bloodborne, Bloodborne's my favorite Souls game, but Elden Ring is definitely number 2. It's probably their most impressive game. In terms of art direction, it has the most stuff. So like, in that kind of way, it's like probably their best just because there's more of it, but I'm personally a bigger fan of what they did with Bloodborne, with the aesthetic and tying the mechanics into the story, and just taking on that 1800s gothic aesthetic is really, really, they just hit that out of the park in a way that no one else ever has or probably ever will. But Elden Ring is really, really, really good. I love all the callbacks to classic fantasy art that are in the game. There's a lot of stuff lifted basically straight from the old J.R.R. Tolkien calendars in the 70s. I only know this because my mother was a huge Lord of the Rings fan when I was a kid, before the movies came out, and she read all the books to me, and then I read the books when I was old enough. But she had all those calendars hanging up in her kitchen, and there's a lot of art in Elden Ring that's extremely influenced by people like Ted Nasmith and other people that were regulars in those calendars. So it has this very, even though it's a new world that they created, it feels very familiar, because it feels like a version of fantasy that your mind is aware exists. It has hallmarks in it that go back to those artists. So it was very, very interesting. But yeah, I love Elden Ring. Mind-blowing the amount of freedom they were able to give the player without breaking that open world. Pretty masterful open world design for their first time doing an open world game. Even I like Tears of the Kingdom and I like Breath of the Wild, but even they fell into some of the Ubisoft design tropes of climb this tower and then we'll show you the map. And there's a tower in the horizon, go climb that tower. I don't know, it made the different zones feel samey because they all had towers. Whereas in Elden Ring, all the zones are I don't know what I'm gonna see. I don't know what I'm walking into. Yeah, people say Bloodborne PC will happen eventually. I don't know if it will. I hope so. I mean, I'm assuming you could pirate it. I mean, if you buy a copy of the game, just to, you know, have a defense, ethically, if you care about the ethics of it. Some people don't, so whatever, you do you. But if you buy a copy of the game, even if you can't play it, and then you know, pirate it, I think that's good enough. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if there's a way to pirate it. I have no idea. I'm assuming there is, because people find ways to do everything. My stance on games that are unavailable that you want to play are just buy a copy of the game that you can't play and then pirate one that you can. Sorry if my voice is weird. My allergies are out of control. It's fall here. The dead leaves are getting me. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom should have been what Breath of the Wild launched as. It just felt like a more finished vision of that world. Like adding a ton of stuff in the sky and a ton of stuff in the underworld was super cool. And it made there's more to do, and there's more variety, there's more enemies, there's more different types of puzzles, there's more things you can do with the new abilities, with the Ultra Hand, like yeah, it just felt like a more complete version of that vision. Breath of the Wild was good. The scope of it and getting lost in it was cool, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Tears of the Kingdom, if it had come out instead, we would remember it even better than we remember Breath of the Wild, but because it came out second and they reused the overworld, it feels like underwhelming to a lot of people, which I totally get because it's the same world. But yeah, I don't know. They're both very good. But yeah. I think Tears of the Kingdom is better, but the reason it doesn't feel better, because I felt the same way. It's like, on paper, this is a better game. The only problem is it came out second, and it reused so much stuff. I'm wondering, I don't think they could. I don't think there's enough stuff to add, but Nintendo for decades has wanted to do a Zelda trilogy, like the Triforce, like 3 games that all go together. And I'm wondering if this engine is going to be the one where they finally do it, where they do a third Breath of the Wild style game. They tried to do it on N64, but the console died quickly. Then they tried to do it on Game Boy with the Capcom Oracle games, and they couldn't figure out a way to do it that made sense. So they canceled the third one and made it a link cable epilogue. I'm wondering if they're gonna... I don't even know what you could do with a third Breath of the Wild style game, though. Like, reusing that world map a third time, like, unless they drastically change it. If they're like, you know, a meteor falls and breaks the continent, and, you know, like all the elevations are fucked with, and there's new stuff, and I don't know. Or if you time travel back to when the Zonai were at their height and all the towns are different and all the monsters are different. Like, I don't know what else you could do without fundamentally altering that world. But yeah, I have a funny feeling they're not going to. I think the next Zelda game is probably going to go back to a more Ocarina of Time. I think they're gonna try to make the perfect mix. That's my guess. I think they're gonna make a big, huge, crazy open world, but also has dungeons. But yeah, I don't know. They've been saying there's a new Switch coming out next year for like 3 years. So I don't know. I don't think Nintendo has said anything officially about it. They might just do a new console. I don't know. Instead of a Switch 2. I have no idea though. I don't think Nintendo has said anything officially about that. I think it's all speculation. All you gotta do is take Elden Ring, put a hang glider in it. Ultimate game. Just put Zelda's hang glider in Elden Ring. That's all we need. I love everything about Elden Ring more than Zelda except for Zelda's ability to fly. What's up, Miguel? Yeah, that's all I want. I just want the glider in Elden Ring. That's all I want. Then I'd have the ultimate game. We're gonna do a mousetrap this year for Halloween? I don't know. I haven't talked to Dave. I'm not sure what he has planned. If we do one, it would probably be this Thursday. Is my guess. I think Dave's been pretty busy. I haven't heard from him much this week, which means he's probably doing a lot. So I'll check with him and see if we're doing a mousetrap. I don't know. It would probably be Thursday. Oh boy. You guys ever have a filling fall out of one of your teeth and then your whole mouth feels like a different person's mouth and you just like freak out a little bit? I get my filling replaced on Thursday, but boy, do I feel weird. Well, your cat needs to grow up. Sorry, cat. Be bold. Listen, guys. I don't promote things on here often, okay? But I'm going to promote something, and I want you to listen to me. Our good friend Ryan Gutierrez, Ryguts, had a publishing deal that was basically rug pulled from him after making a beautiful comic called Black Mirror. And as a result, in order to complete his dream of getting it out there, he is turning to Kickstarter. Now, I don't vouch for people often, but I will vouch for Ryan. If you can support it, please do. And if you can't support it, please share it so other people can. I think it's going live soon. It's not live yet. I will share it when it goes live. But that book deserves to succeed. So, anything we can do to help, you know, think about if you were going through a similar thing. As a community and as a group of people, we should support what he's going through. And it's going to be a good book. The rug pull had nothing to do with the quality. It was entirely out of everyone's hands. So, it's going to be a very good book. And I'm excited. I'm excited for his Kickstarter. Oh, rendering tree roots, chat. Feels like coming home, you know? It's my destiny. What's up, Nicholas DeLuca? How's life? I have a beautiful new niece who's adorable. I took a short. I had a medical scare for about a month where I might have had cancer, and I don't. Thank goodness. I do have a prostate problem that's causing me some pain, so I'm dealing with that. Waiting for surgical intervention to fix that. I did take most of last week off to travel. I went up north to watch the leaves change up in the mountains, stay at my cabin, and just like, I don't know, I just a little spooked about getting surgery, so I just wanted to take a little breather and enjoy a little bit of life. What else? Me and Dave's third book is basically written. Very excited for the third Steve book. Very, very excited for that. The restaurant that I designed, I designed the whole building and all the aesthetic of the interior, is opening next month. They did a soft launch this last week. I didn't go to because I was up in the mountains, but it's kind of cool to have designed, 2 buildings now. Just a weird thing I never thought I'd really do. It's kind of cool to I designed this house and then built it, and then I designed the restaurant and helped them build it. And it's weird to design a space with a pencil and paper and then render it and then have it be built and be able to walk around inside of it. It's just a cool feeling. So yeah, that's cool. Other life stuff. I've been taking it pretty easy, man. There's not much else. I'm getting ready to. There's a bunch of stuff when this painting. There's two paintings I gotta finish for Black Friday. This one and the giant snake guy from Elden Ring. Once these are done, I'm gonna take a little bit of a step back and try and finish a bunch of things that I've been wanting to finish that aren't done. I've got some personal work that I want to get done that I'm excited about, and I also want to make I've been meaning to make a voice reel for a long time because I did 200 voices for our audiobook, and the more I listen back to it, the more I'm I should really make a supercut with the panel and the voice, because I don't know. The further away from the audiobook I get, the more I realize how much work I put into that thing. I really, 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 really put a lot of work into that thing. And I feel like it just kind of disappeared because we didn't really promote it. And I'd like to at least make a little supercut of all my favorite stuff. Just to have on YouTube, share it on Twitter. Maybe it'll lead to some dumb voice gigs. I've done a couple voices in some indie video games, but yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to finish some personal work. Yeah. Oh, I've lost almost 90 pounds, 85, 86 in the past year. November 1st is my 1-year anniversary of taking my weight seriously, and I've lost about 90 pounds, which is crazy. Yeah. Does the restaurant have a theme? No, but it had to look like it was built in a certain year. It had to look like it was built in the 1800s because it's in a historic district. There's rules about what their building can look like there. So I had to design it all with period accurate stuff, which was cool. Oh, cool. I might go out then. Did it do a specific kind of diet for it? What made it more successful than previous attempts? Honestly, this is gonna sound shitty. I'm gonna be real honest with you though. I think the financial stability is what made it easier. Cause like the last times I did diets, so here is the thing that made the last few attempts difficult. I would have to, to eat healthy, you should be cooking your own food, or at least getting food that's healthy, made with whole ingredients. The last time I really tried to do this, I was in like freelance hell. I was like working like stupid hours and doing tons of low paying jobs to like stack up enough money to pay bills and stuff, and like I didn't have a ton of time for cooking or going to the gym, or like I just didn't. I wasn't in a headspace where I was prioritizing that. I was just grinding. And this time, it's like, if I want to take 3 hours off every day to go to the gym for 2 hours and cook for 1 hour and meal prep, I can do that. I also have enough money saved that if I want to buy good ingredients, I can buy good ingredients. I don't have to eat shit. Like, on my last diet that I tried, I couldn't afford anything nice, so I was like basically just counting calories of junk food, and I was eating, a calorie deficit, but it was shitty food. And this time it's like, okay, I can buy chicken and vegetables and steak, and like I can cook meals, and I can, essentially the diet I followed was I go to the gym for 2 hours every day. I do an hour in the pool, and I do an hour in the weight room, split up into weights and trainer. 30 minutes of weights, 30 minutes with a trainer doing like cross stuff. So then I ate a 2,700 calorie meal. No, not meal. I ate 2,700 calories every day, split up into 3 meals. And for my weight, that meant that I was burning almost everything I was eating every day, because the hour of swimming burned around 1,400 calories, and then I had the hour of weights and cross. So I was consuming about 2,700 calories a day of chicken, white rice, and vegetables. That's all I was eating. Chicken, white rice, and vegetables. Occasionally fruit, not often though. Mostly protein. And that meant that I was essentially burning everything I was eating. I was doing enough exercise that I was essentially hitting 0 calories every day. And, the first month I lost like 20, 25 pounds. it slows down the longer you're doing it because your body thinks you're killing yourself and it wants to hold on. But like, you know, your plateaus will break if you stick with them long enough. So yeah, 2,700 calories and 2 hours of exercise on the regular. I think like once a week. When I started plateauing after like 2 months of doing it, 3 months of doing it, I started introducing eating maintenance calories on weekends, which for me was 4,400. So I'd go from 2,700 up to 44, which I realize when you're eating whole foods and you're not eating junk food is a ridiculous amount of calories. That is a stupid amount of chicken and rice and stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah, it worked out. I still have to lose more. It's crazy, like I didn't realize how fat I was until I lost almost 100 pounds and I'm still fat. It's like, I'm so fat that losing 100 pounds wasn't enough to make me feel or look thin. So like, I have to lose another 100 probably before I'm like getting somewhere healthy. Like I'm still grateful for losing the 90 this year, but I have a long way to go. And unfortunately, the more you lose, the harder it is to keep losing because your body fights you. Your body wants to stay fat because, you know, we evolved to pack on pounds and hold on to them for winter. But, you know, I'm sticking with it. Shout out to Chipotle. I probably spent like $4,000 this year on Chipotle just because when I'm busy, it's the only place I can get chicken and rice with no bullshit added to it conveniently. So yeah, shout out to you, Chipotle. Thanks, Artie. And shout out to everybody who helped me along the way, like Nemanja Nika, who was in here a lot back in the day. I had a lot of conversations with him about, you know, getting past certain plateaus. I remember the big plateau for a long time was 40. When I dropped 40 pounds, my body just didn't want to keep going. That lasted almost 2 months. And then I dropped another 20, and then another 20, and yeah. I can do things I've never been able to really do, which is cool. I don't get tired when I walk around anymore. I can go on hikes. I scaled a small cliff that I've always wanted to scale. So, yeah. Oh, and it also, here's the craziest thing. Around 65 pounds of weight loss, my insomnia went away. So now I've had insomnia my entire life. Like, started in my teens, lasted forever. And I just thought I just had it. I just thought it was a thing that, you know, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea. They gave me a machine for it. But even with the machine, I would still, you know, some nights I just couldn't fall asleep. Other nights I would sleep for an hour, then wake up and just be up for the whole night. And it was just, you know, it would lead to these cycles where in the winter I was completely nocturnal. I would wake up at 5 p.m. and I would stay up all night till like 8 in the morning, and then I would go to sleep again. And then in the summer it was the opposite. Like, it just led to these crazy sleep schedules. Sometimes I'd go 3 or 4 days with no sleep because I just couldn't. But around 65 pounds of weight loss, that all stopped. And now I can go to bed at midnight and wake up at 7 in the morning and feel good. And I don't wake up, and I don't ever, I mean, knock on wood, It's been almost 6 months without insomnia, um, which is really crazy. So that must mean that it was all, apnea related from the fat, the pressure on my neck. It must have been like a breathing related issue or just a stress related issue from the stress of carrying all the extra weight. So yeah, I don't know. Really, really, really crazy though that it went away. I thought I just had that forever. Yeah, if you got sleep problems, I mean, I can't really recommend losing some weight enough because it fixed mine. I'm sure it's not the same for everybody, but you know. I think the meal I eat the most, I eat almost every day, which I still haven't gotten tired of, which is crazy, is I'll cook a whole pound of ground chicken, and then I'll add a can of Rotel, diced tomatoes and green chili, and I'll cook that down till all the liquid's gone, and then I'll add some taco seasoning, and I will shred some sharp cheddar cheese over the top and cook it till the cheese gets crispy. And then I will serve that over a serving of white rice with a little bit of hot sauce. And I eat that. I never get tired of it. It's like a do it at home rice bowl. It's a ton of protein because it's just a pound of chicken. I eat that basically every day. It's really good, and it's 1,000 calories for the whole plate. So I can eat 3 of those in a day if I'm doing my workouts. That's 3 pounds of chicken. A pound of chicken's like 500. Rotel's like nothing. Taco seasoning's like nothing. The cheese adds like 100, and then the rice is like 400. So, yeah. You can do it in a crock pot too, but the cheese won't get crispy. You have to throw it in a skillet real quick or throw it into the broiler in a sheet pan. You might notice that I am getting up and leaving stream more often. That's because of the prostate issue. So I apologize if I disappear often. I stopped streaming for a couple weeks because of it, because I thought it would be annoying. I was like, what's the point of streaming if I have to get up every 10 minutes? But, I don't know, you guys are chill. I figure you'll understand. What's up, Umbry? I've got my giant thing of coffee here. Fueling me. All I want for Christmas is for Tim Rogers to drop his new Action Button review. That's all I want, guys. That's true. I could just stream from the toilet. You guys wouldn't know. Just get a push to talk mic and mute it every time I pee. It's actually very smart. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been 2 years? Jesus, I thought it was only one. His last one was Boko, whatever, the summer game where you go on vacation and you catch bugs and stuff. Boko no Natsume, yeah. Good review. Very sad review. Very coming of age vibes. Passing of time vibes. Bittersweet nostalgia vibes. How's Brad Rigney doing? I think he's doing okay. I haven't spoken to him in a year or two. Dave checked in with him recently. I know I asked Dave how he was doing. I think he's doing okay. I believe he still has a Patreon, if anyone wants to go support him and see what he's up to. I'm pretty sure he still has a Patreon. Brad's doing okay. I'm not sure who he's working for these days. I really want to play that new Zelda game. I just haven't had time. Maybe that'll be my little Christmas reward to myself. Commercial stuff. I know he's doing work. I just don't know who for at the moment. And some bread. How do I like Wukong? I mean, I haven't played it yet. I haven't had time to play anything. I got the flu 2 weeks ago and played Space Marine in like one sitting. I did Space Marine 2 in like literally a day. The whole game. It was great. I was coughing the whole time, which was hilarious. It's just on my couch with a fever, yelling for the Emperor and then coughing. Yeah, I haven't had time to play Wukong. Wukong looks more like a boss rush game, sort of like a Team Ninja style game. It looks more like a Ninja Gaiden type thing, where like it's not like Souls games are more about like exploring, you know, vistas and like there's bosses, but they're just part of the formula. Wukong looks like it's mostly about the bosses. I could be wrong. But from the trailer material and the brief bits of gameplay I've seen, it looks like it's mostly a boss rush game, which is fine. I think the art direction for Wukong is like a 10 out of 10. The art direction is fantastic. But the gameplay I can't say because I haven't played it. But I will. Ooh, I'm gonna love it. It's gonna be great. No, I told myself I wasn't gonna. Out of respect for my client, who I play games with on PlayStation, so he definitely knows when I'm playing something. Out of respect for my client, who I'm doing this poster for, that is overdue, I told him I am not playing any games until this poster is done. I made one exception for Warhammer because there was a day that I couldn't get out of bed. So I said, well, you know, while I'm on this medication, I guess I'll play some Warhammer. But yeah, until this piece is done, I'm laying off games. Yeah, I mean, it has to match the other two. It has to match this, and it has to match this. So, like, you know, these roots are pretty fucking detailed. I need to match that, which I am. It's just it's taking its sweet time. But you know, it will be done when it's done. Which has to be by Black Friday, because that's when it's going on sale. So, I was hoping to have it done over the summer, and then a whole bunch of health shit happened, and I was in and out of hospitals for like 2 months. So, that became not possible, which sucks, but, you know, here we are. Trying, chat. What's the poster for? Elden Ring. What percentage is done? We're in the 90% area. Right now, it's just detailing and cleaning, pretty much. There's only like 2 things left to render, and they're fairly easy. But detailing a piece this big and cleaning tends to drag. Because, obviously, the resolution is fucking stupid. Black Friday is the last week of November. Oh, thanks, Ombre. That's super kind of you. If you make a roots brush, can you name it after me? Absolutely you can. That's a high honor. I would appreciate it. Thank you, Ombre. I'm gonna try to do long streams every day this week. I've been getting a little, I'm not gonna lie, chat, I've been getting a little depressed because back in the winter and the spring and the early summer, we were streaming all day, every day. We were making good progress. We were hustling, we were bustling, and I miss it. And I want to get back to that level of being locked in. So I'm gonna try real hard to stream for at least 4 hours, if not more, every day this week. Listen, I'm gonna need to get up every now and then. I'm about to get up in a moment because I can feel the call. But ironically, the problems with my YouTube and the problems with my prostate are the same. Not enough streaming. Do you guys get it? Because I can't piss. I'll be right back. Oh! Oh! That was a long one. I am very sorry. Oh, jeez. Oh, Lord. It's true. It was only long because I was walking down all my stairs. It's the only reason. So I've got this fun issue. There's a window up there, and ever since the season changed here, the sun is in a position where in about 20 minutes, my entire desk is going to be hit with glare. So I might end the stream in a bit and move my computer to my other table to get it out of the sun. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to wait 2 hours and deal with glare. I did tell him, Shays, and he said that it's not often enough to matter because what's going on with my prostate is so weird. It's 5 times too big. So there's something going on medically. It's not from occasionally holding my pee while I draw. That's why they thought it was a tumor, because it's so big. But it's annoying. Hold on, chat. Maybe I can do this without moving my table. Hold on just a minute. You're gonna hear some noises, but don't worry, all is well. This could work. This could definitely work. Oh my goodness. Problem solved, I think. Wow. Nice. Okay. Different view, chat. You can see my storage over here that I haven't unpacked yet because we're still building. Cool. Okay, that works. No more glare. Cool. All right. Where was I? I think I was up here. Yes, I was. My house is made of posts and beams. I think technically that would mean sticks. Technically. I actually designed my house so there would be no posts in the rooms. There's only posts to hold up the outside walls. Because I love post and beam houses, but I hate having a beam interrupt a room. I mean a post interrupt a room. Post is vertical. I hate having a post interrupt a room. I wanted it to be open concept. So the only way to do that was to reinforce the ceilings with steel beams. So there would be no need for posts because the steel beams could carry the load. But then I didn't want to see steel in my house because I wanted it to be just like wood. So if you look above me, that beam in the ceiling running above me, that's actually a steel beam that I had my carpenter case in wood. That was the same wood as of the other beams on the ceiling. So that's actually a steel beam carrying the weight of the roof. But it's a steel beam that's wrapped in a box made of wood that is stained to match the house. So it looks like the whole thing is wood, but there's actually a bunch of hidden steel. That was a fun solution. Someday this week, I almost did it today. Someday this week, we're going to put on a long play of probably Vagrant Story. Either that or Final Fantasy IX. I need those PlayStation 1 Square Enix sound effects. I dated a girl a few years ago who was an architect who only enjoyed brutalism, and that was very funny. She felt so comfortable in concrete and wrought iron. It was like her favorite aesthetic. It was very, very funny to me. Her dream home would be like, it would look like a prison. But hey, I can't judge. Everybody likes their own things. She was like, I want to draw your dream home, because she was an architect. I was like, okay. And she was like, can you describe it for me? And I was like, yeah, lots of windows, in nature, lots of wood. I wanted to feel like it was kind of like built by William Morris in the arts and crafts, movement, stained glass. And like, as I was describing it, I could see on her face how disappointed she was. She was like, oh, this isn't gonna work. I was like, well, you know? I wanted my house to feel like it's been here for 200 years. And it definitely does. So mission accomplished. Excited for Nosferatu? Yeah. Yeah, I'm more excited for that than almost anything else that's come out since Mad Max Fury Road. Ugh. Coffee. I've definitely made some mud coffee in my day. Hey Riley, things are good. Nothing's really changed since last time I talked to you. Hey Rye, when's your Kickstarter going live? I was just talking about your Kickstarter to chat, and how we all must come together to support you. That's Friday, right? Mark your calendars, chat. Friday. Support the Black Marrow Kickstarter by Ryan J. Gutierrez, Esquire. Yeah, man. I know you've been working hard on it. I'm excited to see it succeed. There to help you all the way. Yeah, ever since the season changed, there's glare. There's really bad glare. So I'm gonna have to. I was gonna move my desk over to that corner anyway. I'm just gonna have to do it sooner than later because between the hours of noon and 3, the glare from the windows is so bad that it's hard for me to work. It's okay though. I was planning on moving them. I'll probably do that tonight after I stop streaming. Hi, Lee. I don't know where my dog is. And that might mean she's outside. She probably is. That little punk. I rewatched Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves last night. Here's my 3 major takeaways on why it didn't work for me. Number 1, bad art direction. Now listen, Wes Burt did amazing stuff on that movie. So did the other artists. But the general direction of D&D art direction, where things look kind of cheap, they sort of look like a bunch of people going to a Renaissance fair. Like the haircuts are too like modern, and the clothing is too clean, and it just looks very like costumey and not like a living world. That really didn't look great on second viewing. Number 2, Chris Pine is kind of the only, like, I don't know how to describe it. There's not enough diversity of characters, like how they act and personalities. Everybody's quirky and everybody makes jokes, which means that they're all kind of the same. Even though they all have individual things, like, you know, I'm the wizard who's not confident in my spellcasting. I'm the barbarian who doesn't understand social cues. Like, it's very Guardians of the Galaxy. Obviously, they're trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy, but when everyone is making jokes constantly, it just, I don't know. It makes it feel like I'm watching a live version of like a D&D podcast where like the people playing the game are insecure, so they can't like fully commit to the game. They have to constantly make jokes to show that, like, you know, don't think I'm a fucking nerd for playing D&D because I'm funny, you know. I get that this is crazy, like, you know. That bothered me. And number 3, not enough monsters. I appreciated seeing a mimic and a displacer beast in the very end of the movie, but Fat Dragon was really cool. Love that Fat Dragon. Talking to the undead scene was cool, but again, too many jokes. Even the corpses are joking. Just everyone's joking. A D&D movie, in my opinion, if you're going to go the fun, lighthearted adventure route, make it feel like an Indiana Jones movie. Indiana Jones, there are jokes, and there are lighter moments, and there are, you know, things that make you laugh. But the laughter typically comes from a release of tension from genuinely exciting scenes where you're not sure if people are going to live or die. And I don't think there's any scene in Honor Among Thieves at all where I felt like anybody was at risk. So the jokes just feel gratuitous. They don't feel super earned because there doesn't feel like there's any stakes. they could have done, like, there's a scene in the movie where they go into the Underdark to go into a dungeon, which is a destroyed city, to find a cool relic that's a magic helmet, and there's a dragon guarding it. That should have been spooky and scary, and it wasn't. It starts off with a joke where the guy says, let's go into an orifice, and they fall down a hole, and there's just way too many jokes. Jokes about the paladin, jokes about, I am not going into that orifice, jokes about, here's an overcomplicated trap, jokes about, oops, I stepped on the bridge and set off the trap. Just jokes. Just like, we should have had a moment where it felt like they were in an actual dangerous scenario in a really cool, spooky, undead city that was underground with dangerous traps that could have actually killed somebody. What a wasted opportunity. It's just jokes everywhere. But yeah, I don't know. Not enough monsters. Not enough monsters. Should have been more monsters. Not enough combat in general. The barbarian girl gets 2 fight scenes that are pretty well done. And there's one fight scene against the Wizard of Thay at the end that's pretty okay. But there's not much, there's not many group combat encounters where you get to see the group being like a D&D party. Surprisingly. There's very little of that. The best scene in the entire movie, in my opinion, the best scene in the entire movie is the scene where the druid girl has to escape the castle because she's spying, and she gets caught by the Thay wizard. And at first she's an insect and she flies out of the room, and then she has to turn into a mouse to run through the feet of all the knights, and then she scurries up the boot of a suit of armor, and then she turns back into a human inside the armor, and then she walks around pretending to be a knight until she gets caught, and then she turns back into a mouse, and then she turns into a cat, and then she turns into a bird and flies out the window, but then she gets hit by a flag because she's trying to dodge arrows, falls down a chimney, turns into a cat, turns back into a person, goes out into the street, tries to blend in with birds that are pulling a carriage by turning into one of the birds. Then she gets caught again, and then she's just turned into a deer to outrun a group of people. That whole scene is fantastic. Great set piece, great use of her powers. Felt dangerous. It's probably the only, funnily enough, the only time in the entire movie I felt like anybody was at risk, or I felt like there were stakes, was during that wild shape scene where she's escaping. Every other scene just felt very kind of fake and safe. Anyway, there you go. It sucks that they were trying to set up a trilogy that isn't going to happen with Saz Tam as a villain. I forgot that there was a scene where Saz Tam shows up and he's like in the corner being all lichy. He's like, soon the city will see you. He's like very like behind the scenes Emperor Palpatine. I forgot that that was even in the movie. And then there's like a line at the end where Chris Pine is like, someone says like, Saz Tam will be mad we ruined his plan, and he goes, well, if he is, he can come for us, but if he does, we're gonna be ready. And it's like, you guys really thought, like, okay. They thought that they were gonna do like a trilogy. Again, I want to say the artists did great work. The art for the movie is very good. But the general aesthetic of Dungeons and Dragons that they had to work with is not great for a movie. D&D feels too normal. All the characters just feel like people you'd meet in the real world in the current art direction that Hasbro's going with. It's just, yeah, not a ton of personality. Is it 2 times better than the 99 one, though? At least that one's so bad it's good. Yeah, I would have liked to see a party of, like, where was the dwarf? Everybody's very clean cut. Like, Chris Pine has, like, you know, 5 o'clock shadow. Barbarian girl is just kind of a girl who's strong. Wizard guy is just a guy. You know, the tiefling girl is just a girl with horns, little tiny prosthetic horns. And then paladin dude is just a normal guy with like a modern haircut in like armor that looks very, very fake. Armor that looks very Party City. Yeah, I don't get it. Like, there should have been like, I don't know. Obviously I don't want to compare it to Lord of the Rings because it's a ridiculous standard, but like, you know, Gimli's short and hairy and Legolas is tall and fair and Aragorn is gruff and in the middle, and you got hobbits, you got a really old man who's a wizard. Like, I don't know. Even if the wizard kid was like an old man who sucked at magic, that would have at least added something, you know? I don't know. Yeah. Shays, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. That's not the problem. It's not the color of their skin. Here's a perfect example. I'll give you a perfect example of why that doesn't work, Shays. What is the name of that actor, and what is the character he played? What's the name of the wizard in the D&D movie? I noticed this last night, and I want to bring it up because of what Chase just said. Where is he? Where's the scene? Where could it be? Here it is. Give me the scene that I need. Give me the scene that I need. Anyway, I want to show it. How do I show it? Where is it? Am I even going to be able to find it? Or is it just not possible? Wow. Is this really the best I can do? Well, I'll have to just go with this. I'll pull a screen cap from this. It's hard to see, but whatever. There's a scene where Simon tries to attune to the helmet, and he meets his adult self. And this character here looks great. This design, this Dungeons and Dragons design, this older man with the head wrap and the layers of clothing. He's got like a cloak with like a hood that pops up, and then he's got layers of like gold chains, cross belt. He's got an amulet. He's got like, this design looks really, really good, and it works in Dungeons and Dragons. Like, this design looks great, but normal Simon doesn't look great. It has nothing to do with him being black. It has nothing to do with the race at all. It's just the way the character looks as a design. Like, this design looks like a kid at a Renaissance fair wearing fake ears. Like, it's just too plain and normal. It just looks like something you'd buy at a Renaissance fair. There's no personality to it. It's very forgettable. There's no interesting shape design happening. There's no memorable pieces of the costume. It's just normal clothes. This design looks fucking sick. This is great. If he was wearing this, if it was the same kid the same age wearing this costume, would have looked awesome. But this costume just is kind of forgettable and nothing. Nothing to do with the race. We don't need to go there. But yeah. Yeah, every time his older self shows up in that movie, it looks great. And I'm like, why? Why wasn't this the design for the normal character? They just make weird choices with the haircuts. I don't know why. They do it in Rings of Power too, where it's like, why are modern haircuts showing up? It's very, very strange. Like, what's his name? Heimdall in the Thor movies? when he has like the really long hair, he looks great. He looks really, really good. Like that kind of look works in a fantasy setting. Yeah, I just don't get it. It's his grandfather? But when he punches it, it de-ages and turns into him. He says, "Are you my grandfather?" And he just laughs. He doesn't answer the question. He goes, "My name is also Elminster." And he walks around and he goes, "Are you my great-grandfather?" And he doesn't say anything, he just laughs. And then when Simon punches him, he de-ages and turns into Simon and says, "Took you long enough." So, like, I interpreted it as it was Simon's potential to be a great wizard when he grows up. That was my read on it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is supposed to be his great-grandfather. I thought it was supposed to be showing Simon's future self. So that he would... Because his whole arc is, I have no confidence, and in order to be a great wizard, I have to have confidence in myself. So when he realizes that the great wizard he's talking to in the spell of the helmet is actually him in the future, he goes, "Oh, I am going to be great. I can do this." Like, that was my read on it. This great wizard who keeps kicking me out of the attunement was actually me. Oh. Yeah, good luck. The auto moderation bots in full force. I think the big problem with a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons stuff is that they're trying to make everybody look like they're at like a European Renaissance fair. And like, I don't care about the races of the characters or the color of their skin. I care about cool designs. And like, if you're in a city, so there's a part where they go to what is it, Neverwinter? Is that the city they go to? The big city with the games? If I'm in a trade city called Neverwinter, and they're supposed to be like known for doing trade and having all this money and shipping, and they have a port, I want to see cultures. I want to see stuff with Asian influence. I want to see stuff with like Persian influence. I want to see some African stuff. I want to see European stuff. I want to see like very North Russian stuff. Like, if you're a trade city and you're like doing fantasy, I want to see, because like you gotta pull from reality to make fantasy believable. And in rich cities where people could get things, the rich people promoted their cool stuff that they imported. Like, spices were a huge deal because you couldn't get spices anywhere local. And cloth and tapestries with certain patterns and fabrics from the Far East were super popular in Europe because it showed that, like, you know, oh, I got this from half across the globe, you know, like, I can afford to show this off. And like, so there's the whole Orientalism movement as a result of that, as history went forward, where like the rich people were dressing in stuff that wasn't from where they were from, because they wanted to show like, oh, I can afford, I'm so successful that I can wear this stuff I got from like China or like Persia, because I'm such a big deal. Like, I want to see more of that. I don't just want to see like, you know, oh, I'm a guy wearing cloth with leather, and I'm another guy wearing cloth with leather, and I'm a third guy wearing cloth with leather, but I have puffy sleeves, and I'm a lady wearing cloth with leather, but I have like a veil on my head that looks very like Maid Marian. Like, there should be, and also like your fantasy, there should be tons of other cultures. We're talking about a setting where you can traverse different planes to different like worlds and planets. Like, there should be so much cool cross-culture design happening. But yeah. Yeah, I agree, Sharky. Oh, also, here's the other thing that pissed me off when I rewatched it. Can I find it? Can I find it? Yes. At the end of Honor Among Thieves, when they're in the gauntlet, when they're doing the maze, a dwarf shows up and he looks sick. And I'm like, hold on. You're telling me that you designed this character, you gave him prosthetics on his face, you designed special armor for him that looks cooler than any of the armor any of the main characters are wearing. You're telling me you designed this guy, you gave him the awesome eyebrows, the beard, the custom armor. He looks cooler than any of our main characters. He couldn't just be one of the party members? You're telling me this guy, like, this design that shows up for 2 minutes in the movie is more memorable than any of the main characters. Any of them. And it's a throwaway character who dies at the end. Like, this is better than anything we got in the main cast. So I know they can do it. That's what's frustrating, is like, okay, you guys can design cool, memorable stuff. There's cool, memorable stuff in the movie. It's just none of our main characters. It's Simon when he's an adult, when he's wearing the head wrap thing and the cape. That's a great design. That could have just been Simon's design. That dwarf looks sick. Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that dude dies immediately, that dwarf. He finds an axe in a chest and gets killed by a displacer beast, I think. What up, shut up? Yeah, the dwarf was sick. Thanks, shut up. I'm feeling pretty good, shut up. Feeling pretty good. Feeling okay. Feeling alright. Yeah, if they were intentionally going for like a cheap look, I don't know. The 1999 one is the definition of so bad it's good. Blood will rain from the sky. Oh my god, the sunlight's capturing my beard. Oh my goodness. The Lich dude who shows up for literally 5 seconds in the D&D movie looks great. That's a great design. Oh yeah, dude, I'll check it out. Yeah, the Red Letter Media commentaries are always great. Wonder if I can find a picture. I'm not gonna be able to find it. It's such a short scene. He's just like in a corner whispering to the witch lady. It's great though. He looks sick. Wes Burt did some really good design work on this movie. I just wish they let the main cast look cooler. Ryan's Fursona. Yeah, we all have to financially support Ryan's Fursona, guys. We have to. Oh my god. Speaking of dwarves. Oh my god. I've been working on this for like half an hour every night. Wow. It's a dwarf. Oh my lord. What a dwarf. Look at him. I gotta finish these ones over here. I don't like Snow White's face. It's too realistic and gross and three-quartery and the rendering sucks, so ignore her. Ignore her. Wow. I gotta finish these dwarves. Wow. This is my half an hour before bed painting. Goodness. She doesn't look medieval enough. I gotta either put her hair up in something or I don't know. Something's not right. She looks too much like a reference of a model. I gotta make her look more like a painting. Probably pull from some Leyendecker. We'll get there though. What's going on with you? Shut up. You working on anything fun? Trying to decide if I want to have a Thanksgiving here and invite everybody over. Not on the day of Thanksgiving, just if I want to have one in general. Oh, it's open invitation. You can make it to Massachusetts, you can come. If I do it. I gotta find a day to do it. Do it, Sharky. I dare you. I mean, you can ask Shut Up or Rye Gets. They'll give you a specific idea where I live. I think if the internet could figure out where Shia LaBeouf's flag was 4 times, you can figure out where I am pretty easily. It's true, I do. A lot of people know me. If I didn't know where I lived, I would tell you how I would find me, but I don't want to give instructions. This glare. Shay's got it. You already know I live on a lake, so that narrows it down. It goes from millions of possibilities to a couple thousand possibilities. You know, I live near a YMCA because I go to it every day. I shouldn't be giving you tips. Is it time for a lunch break? What time is it? I'm gonna go for like another 20 minutes and then take a lunch break and then come back. YMCA is not a band, bro. It's a song. Bro. It's actually hard to see the screen right now from the glare. You think you got it? That is so close. Gotta run to the bathroom again, guys. I'll be right back. Doop, ba-doo-doop. Doop, ba-doo-doop. Doop, boop. Chad, I had a great idea. Chad, I had such a good idea. Chat, I had such a good idea. Oh my god. Chat. Oh my god. This is incredible. Chat, are you guys ready to get intimate? I'm talking intimate, chat. Oh my god. Chat, there can't be any glare on my computer if we're in a blanket fort together. Oh my god, chat. Oh my god, there's no glare. We're under a blanket together, chat. Whew. There you go. Wow. We did it. Chat, we survived. We did it. Oh my god, it's so warm in here too. It's an excellent idea. Maybe an idea I'll make permanent. Oh my god, we can be BFFs. Blanket fort friends. Yes. Close-ish, Shays. Close-ish. pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, drinking coffee's tough in the blanket fort, guys. Blanket fort's not built for coffee consumption. Anyone listening not from the US, how hard is it to just visit the US? Do you have to go through a bunch of customs and visa bullshit just to like come for like a week on a vacation? Because like when I went to Bali, getting into Bali was like easy. And I was like, oh, like I wonder how hard it is to get into the US. For a vacation. I don't mean cost, I just mean once you're here, like how hard is the bullshit? I think it was harder to get into the UK than it was for me to get into Bali. Getting into Bali was like, I walked up, showed them my passport, and they just flagged me in. UK, I had to like go through a bunch of different checkpoints. Glad you like the blanket. This takes me back to when it was raining and we were recording the first audiobook and I streamed it. I had to stream it under a blanket to make the rain quieter. Takes me back, chat. Oh, yes. Gonna feel so naked without this blanket. Playing video games under a blanket is awesome. Doo-doo, doo-doo. Diablo 1. Man, I love that game. Fucking love Diablo 1. I love how quaint Diablo 1 is. We're just like a small town with a spooky church, and you end up in hell at the end. Diablo 2 is a great game, but it's much more like epic. You like travel the globe. I love that Diablo 1 is just a church. Just a spooky little shitty town with a church. I love it. It's so contained. Yeah, Diablo 1 was great. I miss when, like, little things were a big deal in games, because games, you know, weren't, like, so concerned with being, like, epic and huge and crazy. Like, Diablo 1, like, it's a huge deal when you just find, like, the tomb of the king, Leoric. Like, it's not a special area, it's just like a crypt that shows up in like the 3rd, 4th level of the dungeon. But like, you know, it's got some spooky, unique tiles around it, and you go in and it's like, you know, King Leoric's tomb, and you're like, oh my god. This is so awesome and cool, and like, it's not a big, crazy, world-ending raid boss, it's not some insane zone with volcanoes erupting and insane huge it's just you know, oh, the king that everyone's been talking about, he's down here and he might be alive, and ooh, he's a skeleton who's a couple feet too tall with a big sword. Like, I don't know, it's so much cooler to me when everything's pretty normal. When it's like, yeah, I'm in the basement of a church that turns into a crypt, and like I'm fighting like skeletons, like normal stuff. When everything is normal, when you throw in something that's a little abnormal, like now this skeleton's 9 feet tall, it makes it so much scarier than if everything's crazy and you have to keep like ramping up the crazy to make spookier stuff. Like, a normal dark fantasy world with a 10-foot tall skeleton is scarier than like Hell World in Diablo 3 where everything's a fucking demon. To me, at least. Because if everything's crazy, it's like, okay, well, everything's crazy. I'm expecting it now. But if everything's pretty normal, then when something crazy shows up, you're like, why? Why that? What's going on? Why is that crazy? There's too much glare from the sun. Shut up. So I put a blanket over my workstation. And now we're blocking out the sun. I gotta move my computer to a new spot. There's too much sunlight. Makes it hard for me to see. Listen, we're having an intimate blanket fort painting experience, okay? Yeah, they're all named after, like, vegetables. Wow. Excited to play those Dragon Quest HD 2D remakes. I wish they looked a little better, but I am excited to play them. Well, I gotta move all my shit around up here because we never finished building this floor. And I was waiting for the carpenters to be free to come back and do it, but I'm like really tired of waiting because it's been like over a year. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and move shit around on my own. Da-da-ba-da-da-da-da. Goodness, chat. Is it time for a lunch break yet? Oh my god, we're getting close to a lunch break. having the thing I described earlier, a chicken cheese taco bowl with white rice. I'm glad it looks like an album cover. I'm glad. Wow. Does that song ending mean it's time? Oh, it's not over yet. It's just been quiet. I'll be going in a few minutes, chat, and then I'll be back again tonight. Or directly after lunch, I'm not sure. I'm gonna check the gym and see what time I should go in. Hell yeah, Artie. That's awesome. Enjoy it. Absolutely, Gross Girl. Excited to see you. Alright, chat. Winding down. Getting ready to get out of here. Almost done over here. I'll see you all later tonight. Goodbye. Farewell. Stay under your blankets.